Now, your Forecast First, sponsored by ESL Federal Credit Union.
What a nice night we have in store. By 2 a.m. in the morning, we're still going to be in the mid-60s. This is summer-like for overnight lows, where our afternoon highs take us on Sunday. Still feels like summer in my forecast.
Also tonight, President Trump announces his nomination for Supreme Court Justice.
It is abundantly clear that traditional policing practices must be altered and improved.
And Mayor Lovely Warren makes a major announcement about the RPD's future. That breaking story coming up next.
From the team you can trust, this is breaking news from News 8.
And good evening, everyone. That breaking news, the Rochester Police Department will soon have a new interim chief. According to Mayor Lovely Warren, Cynthia Harriet Sullivan will take over this October and will be the first woman to hold the position. The mayor says the change will go a long way to help make major changes within the RPD, but protesters who have taken to the streets for weeks now saying it's not enough. Kayla Green joining us live from a rally for justice in downtown Rochester. Kayla, tell us more about the soon-to-be interim chief.
Well, Jack, first of all, Free the People Rock is holding an event here at MLK Park. A crowd has already formed here, and it actually seems like they have just gotten started. So we will, of course, be here all night, and we'll be keeping you posted on that. But back to the news about that interim chief. Cynthia Harriet Sullivan served on the RPD for 24 years before retiring in 2009. She says she left the force to work on issues of criminal justice disparities, and she currently works for the Rochester Housing Authority. Mayor Warren says she thinks she brings something new to the table. Cynthia Harriet Sullivan is returning to the Rochester Police Department as the first female interim chief.
Obviously, I love the city. I was hurting for our city, and during the time I'm here, if I can help, then I'm certainly going to put that knowledge to good use.
Among what she hopes to accomplish in her year of holding this role, looking at policies and command structure to make change that's a better use of resources.
We've got to find solutions to what the clear issues are. And so those are things that are important to me, is that I don't like a revolving door. I don't like redundancy and wasted effort. If we see something wrong and we know what the cause is, then we have to figure out a way to try to make it work.
Mayor Lovely Warren and Harriet Sullivan herself say she knows both sides of the current issues.
I am confident that she will bring a different perspective and instill a fresh approach to policing, both of which are very much needed in our city, particularly at this difficult time.
I know there are some really great officers that do a good job, but I also know some of those protesters, and they're people I know, people I love, they're friends. It's not always about race, I've seen either. There has to be a level of trust. You have to have a reputation for doing the right thing and for wanting to be ethical about certain solutions, and we start with that. So I'm under no belief that just because I stand here as a black woman that suddenly, we're going to be able to just solve the problem.
She says she plans to meet with the current interim chief, Mark Simmons, this week, and she'll be holding the job for a year. She says she isn't sure what will happen after that. Now, Free the People Rock, the group at the forefront of the protests here in Rochester, responded to this announcement today, saying Lovely Warren's decision to appoint a new interim police chief and command staff doesn't address the deep structural issues in policing. Nothing short of a complete transformation will address the problems we see every day. Our demands are clear, and Lovely Warren has done exactly nothing to meet the demands of the people. Those demands include firing the officers who took Prude into custody and dropping charges against protesters arrested since May 30th. Live in Rochester, Kayla Green, News 8.
Kayla Green live at that protest in downtown Rochester. Kayla, thank you. Mayor Warren also announcing 2 new appointments to the RPD command staff. Captain Gabriel Person will serve as Deputy Chief of Operations, and Officer Moses Robinson will hold a position in the chief's office and focus on community engagement and violence reduction. The Rochester Police Union, the Locust Club, says they'll offer a response to Harriet Sullivan's appointment this upcoming Monday. Meantime, a New York State trooper is in serious condition after a car crash in Erie County. The trooper was on the side of 190 North in Buffalo investigating an unrelated accident involving a box truck. Investigators say that's when a Chevy Tahoe hit the trooper's car from behind. The name of the trooper is not being released, but we do know they were taken to an area hospital for treatment. An investigation into the crash is ongoing. And a fire last night tore through a Lincoln Avenue home in Rochester. Fire crews responding just before 10:45 last night to this scene. Here's what it looked like today. Firefighters say one person was treated for a minor injury and that the home sustained heavy damage. The fire department stresses that working smoke alarms and carbon monoxide alarms save lives. And Judge Amy Coney Barrett is President Trump's Supreme Court pick, the president making that announcement hours ago on the White House lawn. Judge Barrett would replace now-deceased Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg and would solidify a conservative majority in the Supreme Court. Barrett will be questioned at Senate confirmation hearings. Then the Senate is expected to vote on whether to confirm President Trump's nomination. If confirmed, Barrett will be the third justice chosen by President Trump alongside Neil Gorsuch and Brett Kavanaugh. Meantime, New York Senator Kirsten Gillibrand released a statement after the announcement saying she strongly opposed the nomination. The senator saying, quote, even if this process had been legitimate, Barrett's anti-choice views, opposition to the Affordable Care Act, and hostility to immigrant rights and civil rights make her completely unfit to serve on the Supreme Court, end quote. Meantime, high school students in the town of Penfield organized a vigil to honor the late Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Several dozen gathering this afternoon at Harris Wayland Park. The group included many students who say Ginsburg was an inspiration.
Young women, but I think the fact that she grew from a beginning where she was told that, you know, she's a woman, she has her place, maybe education's like an opportunity, but it's not something she needed to do. But she persevered and she saw the injustices and she put her mind to fixing them.
Ginsburg died 8 days ago at the age of 87. She was the first woman and first Jewish person to lie in repose at the United States Capitol. Now for the latest COVID-19 news, the U.S. has passed another grim milestone in its battle with the coronavirus. There have been more than 7 million known infections in the United States. More than 55,000 new cases were reported. The national death toll is now at more than 203,000 people. The CDC warns 90% of the population remains vulnerable to the coronavirus. All of this comes just weeks before flu season. New York State is hovering at a 1% infection rate with over 1,000 new cases reported yesterday and 4 new deaths in the state. In Monroe County, there are 20 new cases of COVID-19, 10 of which are in people under the age of 30. Just about 24 people remain in the hospital. No new deaths to report, leaving the total at just shy of 300. More than 5,000 people in Monroe County have recovered from the virus. And a beautiful day to be outside today. You can imagine why the turnout at local pumpkin farms was strong. We spoke to a few of them who say the reopening process for those fall staples hasn't been easy. Erica DeCoste tells us why.
Great time to be outdoors.
2 little pumpkins to paint and then a big pumpkin to carve.
Local farms are busy today.
Hay rides, pony rides.
While there's a lot of excitement for fall in the air, some things about the experience are different.
We actually weren't even sure we were going to be able to do anything at the beginning of the year, so there's a little bit of panic.
Joanne Verhulst and her husband own this farm in Spencerport. She says when the government came out with guidelines for agricultural entertainment in late August, it was already way too late in their planning process. As a result, she had to do away with an event that makes up almost 50% of their business, haunted hay rides.
Setting up the haunted hayride in July, and then the hiring and all the ticket ordering and all the supplies that happens in early August.
Owners of the farm tell me thousands of people come out at night for these haunted hayrides, but as you can see behind me, these wagons will be sitting idle.
She says they can still run a daytime hayride on weekends, but there's markers on seats to social distance, and each wagon must only have 1/3 of its capacity. Also, they won't be having a corn maze.
We never even cut out the corn maze for either daytime or nighttime because we didn't think we were going to be able to do either.
While there are some losses and concerns for business, Verhulst says the most important thing is safety and comfort of customers.
We never want to be part of the problem. We always want to be part of the solution.
In Rochester, Erica DeCoste, News 8.
Thank you, Erica. The CDC also considers Halloween parties, hay rides, and haunted houses to be high risk. Owners of Verhulst Haunted Hay Rides say they have up to 150 actors involved in those after dark rides. This would have been the 10th anniversary of those rides. We'll move to your full weather forecast now, James Gilbert. It feels like summer today, but probably not for much longer.
Yeah, that's right, Jack. We've got a couple more hours, a couple more days of feeling like summer. Look at this gem from Josephine Perini in Rochester sent to me. She's got some late blooming roses there. Not too bad. 2 more summer days. We'll call it tomorrow and Monday, where we have afternoon highs in the 80s, but it's all downhill from there. We've got rain Tuesday and beyond, rain chances for the next several days, and a long cool down in there as well. Really going to start feeling more like fall as we get into the middle of the week. But more on that rain, we could use it. Some of the areas to our south are at moderate drought even. Look at Steuben County and some of the southern Finger Lakes. Yeah, that kind of orangish brown color, moderate drought. A lot of the areas in the Finger Lakes are abnormally dry, so it'll be good to see some rain as we get into the middle of the week. It's a summer night, 60s overnight. We warm into the 70s, 80s by tomorrow. We are in the warm sector of a very large storm system across much of the United States. I think we surpassed this 83 degrees. I think highs are in the mid-80s, maybe even upper 80s by tomorrow afternoon. Could we see a 90-degree mark possible across western New York on Sunday? I'm not going to rule it out. Could be possible in isolated spots. Fall foliage not quite there yet. I would say we're at 10 to 15%, but Adirondacks closer to 25, 26 to 50% there. So starting to see really some good leaf color. I really think it's going to ramp up in about 7 to 10 days for the region. Futurecast here, we've got numbers already in the lower 70s by about 10, 11 o'clock. Then we'll see those numbers climb to, as I mentioned, the 80s, come back down. I think tomorrow night is another warm night. You see these specks of green. I think that could be a little bit of fog Monday. I don't think we see much in terms of rain. Monday, maybe an isolated shower. This front is moving very slowly. That's going to bring us the cold air and the rain. I think it actually passes through probably Monday night and into Tuesday. You saw that blip of red there that slid by. Well, if you don't see the rain, you'll see the temperatures drop. Look at this temperature trend. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we see numbers just plummeting downward. 8-day forecast, that's exactly what we can expect. Really starting to feel like fall by Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Overnight lows going to be dropping down to the 40s as well. So, you know, if you want, Jack, we could just put the blinders on and try to enjoy Sunday and Monday with the warmth. Yeah, last couple of days this summer, it's always an interesting contradiction driving around, seeing the leaves changing color, but also having your windows down because it's 80 degrees outside. You know, I like it that way. I think it's a pretty interesting kind of setup. Yeah, we'll try to enjoy it at least a couple more days. All right, James, thank you. That's all for this News 8 at 6 Web Edition. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you right back here on TV at 11.
Follow News 8 wherever you are on RochesterFirst.com, Facebook, Twitter, and our apps for both news and weather.